The Sigma 12-24mm f4.5 5.6 II DG HSM is an extremely wide-angle zoom lens made for the 135 full-frame format, offering up to 122 degrees of view, all in a rectilinear projection. Once the widest lens of its time, it now lives on the used market, as Sigma offers a newer f4 art version, and even Canon surpassed it with the wider EF1124 f4L. At 83 by 120mm of 670 grams of mostly metals and glass, the first thing we notice on the Sigma 12-24DG2 is the very good build quality, nicely put together despite being prior to the Global Vision lineup. This was actually based on the older EX Excellence lineup, where Sigma uses best engineering and optics, and this 12-24mm DG shows. The outer barrel sports metal at the non-removable lens hood that signs to an also metal internal barrel, with well-damped zoom and focusing rings. The rear zoom ring moves the internal mechanisms back and forth from 12 to 24mm in less than 45 degrees, and even my 8-year-old copy feels brand new. At the front, the focusing ring also feels precise, as shown by the large distance window, but an almost redundant feature. The narrow f5.6 aperture virtually renders all images always in focus. So we're better using the all-internal HSM hypersonic motor that is precise and silent, despite not being the fastest. Here tested with the EOS 5D Mark II, it locks focus in under a second, great for everyday subjects. But it does take its time to start moving the pieces, and I can't really recommend it for action. And that's it. At the front, this 12-24DG doesn't really support filters, despite the lens cap adding an 82mm thread that generates vignetting. It doesn't accept gel filters at the rear neither. And the metal mount is great for years of operation, with Sigma declaring some levels of splash proofing, despite not adding a rubber gasket to seal it. And in the box you will find it inside a carrying case, making for a fairly premium kit. This is not an old lens, and it was launched less than a decade ago, but it lives on my queue until today, together with Canon's EF 14mm f2.8 L2 USM. With a 17 elements in 13 groups optical formula, being 4 FLD that Sigma says features the same performance as fluorite, 1 SLD special low dispersion, and 3 glass mode paired to a hybrid spherical, what the Sigma 12-24mm II DG delivers optically is very good, sharp enough for most prints with easy to fix distortions. Make no mistake, this is a fairly high-performance lens considering the extreme focal length that works well for professional outputs of interior design and landscapes. While no, it can't compete with prime lenses, nor top zooms like the Nikon AFS 1424 f2.8 DG that cost 3 times as much, the Sigma is the most versatile, cheaper and easier to use. Wide open, the performance is great in the center frame. The images feels clear and high contrast, showcasing Sigma's coding technology in rendering flaring and colors, with just questionable corner resolution at f4.5. Stop down from f8 to f11, it's nearly flawless for high precision outputs, even on today's extreme high resolution cameras, my go-to aperture for high quality jobs. Some chromatic aberrations are obvious on the extreme zoom design, mainly lateral aberrations that are easy to fix in post, not an issue. And also the geometric distortion can be annoying. It's a bulge at 12mm, easy to fix in post, and mustache-like at 24. Sigma could have done a better job here. But it's the colors and the very good flaring rendering that makes this Sigma such a nice lens. It's just easy to work with files straight from the camera, creatively positioning the light source within the frame, for excellent shots of interior design and architecture. So we can clearly notice the TLC given to the optical formula, not to be the sharpest, but to render pleasing images under any situation. There's a very flexible zoom, offering a unique view upon the world. For the price, it's probably the best deal on the extreme wide-angle market. So for every creative shots, just add it on your kit and nice shooting.